In section 2.2, let's look at circles. Question 1. Enter the correct answer to complete the following sentence. The graph of x minus 3 squared plus y plus 6 squared equals 16 has a center with blank coordinates. The first thing we need to do is compare it to the center radius form for a circle. And that is equivalent to x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So I could rewrite this so we could read off the center hk. We can write this as x minus 3 squared plus y minus a negative 6 squared equals 4 squared. And now we can read the center. The center is going to be 3 comma negative 6, and our radius is going to be 4. Again, be careful. If you look inside the parentheses, the center is opposite of what you think. H is positive 3 and K is negative 6. In question 2, let's match the following equation with its graph. I am going to read off the center. The center, again, is our HK that has to be positive 4 and positive 2. Our radius is going to be the square root of 36, and that is equal to 6. So look at our options here. Let's pick the one with the center at 4, 2 and a radius of 6. There is only one option that appears right, and that's option A. We have the center is at 4, 2, and the radius is a radius of 6. Question 3. Decide whether or not the equation has a circle as its graph. If it does, give the center and radius. If it does not, describe the graph. First step is to rewrite it so that the x variables are right next to the x variables and the y variables are right next to the y variables. Here I'm leaving myself some space because I want to complete the square twice. Recall the formula for completing the square is b divided by 2 squared. Now in this case we have negative 6. Negative 6 divided by 2 squared is equal to positive 9. I need to add 9 on the left, and since we add 9 on the left, we have to add the 9 on the right to keep the equation balanced. And for the second part, we have b is equal to 2, and we'll use the same formula. 2 divided by 2 squared is 1. And so we add 1 on the left, and as a consequence, we have to add 1 on the right also. Now this allows me to complete the square for the x variables and for the y variables. This can factor as x minus 3 squared. Again, remember the shortcut. We're taking the b, dividing it by 2, and putting it right here. Same thing here. I can factor this as y plus 1 squared. Again, I'm taking the 2, dividing it in half, and putting it down here. And this is equal to negative 9 plus 9 plus 1 is equal to 1. Now this is great. We can read off the center. This is definitely a circle because we have the number on the right is greater than 0. This must be a circle. The center is 3, negative 1. And our radius is the square root of 1 or 1. For this problem, we have to complete the square twice. And we have converted our equation to center radius form, so we can read the radius and we can read off the center. Question 4. Decide whether or not the equation has a circle as its graph. If it does, give the center and radius. If it does not, describe the graph. The first thing I want to do is add 56 to both sides and rearrange it so we have the x's right next to the x's and the y's right next to the y's. Now we want to complete the square twice, but there's a problem. There's a 25 in front of the x squared and in front of the y squared. Let's divide everything by 25 to get rid of these leading coefficients. Let's divide every single term by 25 so that we can get rid of the 25 in front of the x squared and in front of the y squared. This simplifies to x squared minus, and this reduces to negative 4/5 x plus y squared. This simplifies to 4/5y equals 56/25. Now we need to figure out what we need to add here and here in order to complete the square. We'll use the formula b divided by 2 squared. We have to take negative 4/5 divided by 2 and then square. This is equivalent to negative 4/5 times 1/2. The 2 reduces with the 4, and we have negative 2/5 squared, which is 4/25. That means I need to add 4/25 on the left, and as a consequence we have to add 4/25 on the right. We're going to repeat the same process with 4/5 this time. We'll take 4/5 divided by 2 and square it, and we get this is equivalent to 4/5 times 1/2 squared, and this reduces to 2/5 squared, which gives us 4/25 again. For the y's, we need to add 4/25 on the left, and we'll have to add that on the right. Now we can complete the square. To complete the square, we need to take negative 4/5 and divide it by 2. If we were to divide that by 2, that's equivalent to multiplying by 1/2. Negative 4/5 divided by 2, negative 4/5 divided by 2 is equivalent to 2/5. Plus, and now we can complete the square for this part. This is y plus 4/5 divided by 2, again, is 2/5, and we have to square it. This is equal to 56/25 plus 4/25 plus 4/25 gives us 64/25. This is great. Now we can read off the center. The center is positive 2/5 and negative 2/5. The radius is going to be the square root of the number on the right. Since this is a positive number, it must be a circle. The square root of 64/25 is equivalent to 8/5. Now we know this is a circle with center 2/5 comma negative 2/5 and a radius of 8/5.